Marcus Aurelius and the Art of Embracing Fate. Marcus Aurelius, one of Rome's most revered emperors, never labeled himself a philosopher. Yet his reflections and meditations stand as a cornerstone of Stoic philosophy, offering timeless wisdom on how to navigate life's inevitable challenges. These personal notes, written not for fame but as guidance for his own life, embody the Stoic principle of accepting fate and living in harmony with nature. Marcus believed that instead of resisting the world's natural flow, we should align ourselves with it. He argued that our well-being depends not on external circumstances, but on our ability to adapt and maintain inner discipline. To him, the key was to cultivate a flexible attitude toward life's unpredictability while holding ourselves to high personal standards. The human struggle with wanting. Despite such wisdom, human nature often pulls us in the opposite direction. We crave comfort, success, and recognition, expecting the world to cater to our desires. We want supportive relationships, boundless energy, and lives free from hardship. Many of us are dissatisfied with our flaws, comparing ourselves to unrealistic ideals and wishing we were different. This endless wanting sets the stage for disappointment. The more we expect from life, the more vulnerable we become to frustration when reality fails to meet our expectations. People will sometimes be unkind, dreams may remain unfulfilled, adversity will arise, and aging is inevitable. When we resist these truths, we hand over our emotional stability to forces beyond our control. The Stoic solution: acceptance. Marcus Aurelius, in Meditations, repeatedly urged himself to embrace reality as it is, not as he wished it to be. He saw life's challenges as opportunities to practice virtues like patience, resilience, and humility. Accepting fate does not mean resignation, but rather choosing to respond thoughtfully to what comes our way. This mindset frees us from the emotional turmoil caused by trying to control the uncontrollable. When we let go of our attachment to outcomes, we gain clarity and peace. We can pursue our goals with determination, but without being crushed by setbacks. We can face adversity with strength and treat imperfections, our own and others, with compassion, living in harmony with nature. To live well, Marcus taught, is to live in accordance with nature, both the larger cosmos and our own unique role within it. Life unfolds according to its own logic, indifferent to human preferences. Understanding this allows us to flow with life rather than struggle against it. When we align with nature, we find that many of our desires lose their grip on us. We begin to see challenges not as obstacles, but as necessary parts of our growth. This shift in perspective enables us to remain calm and focused, even amidst life's chaos. A timeless lesson. Marcus Aurelius' writings resonate deeply because they address the universal human condition. His call to embrace a timeless lesson. Marcus Aurelius' writings resonate deeply because they address the universal human condition. His call to embrace fate reminds us that peace comes not from avoiding life's difficulties, but from accepting them as integral to the journey. By focusing on what we can control, our actions, thoughts, and attitudes, we reclaim our freedom and learn to live with purpose and grace. Accepting others, a Stoic perspective. Imagine someone throws an insulting joke your way, perhaps even targeting someone you deeply care for. How would you react? Would you let anger consume you, or retaliate with harsh words, or worse, violence? A Stoic philosopher like Marcus Aurelius would advise a completely different approach. He believed in seeing events for what they are, no more, no less. When someone insults you, what has truly happened? Words were spoken, sounds uttered. But those words, in and of themselves, hold no power to harm you unless you grant them permission to do so. Marcus Aurelius wisely noted that emotions like anger, frustration, and sadness are not inherent in the insult itself. They arise from within us. As he put it, add nothing of your own from within, and that's the end of it. This mindset is rooted in a profound understanding of human nature. People are unpredictable, uncontrollable, and diverse in their behavior. Some are kind and virtuous, others are deceitful and selfish. Some act with wisdom and restraint, others indulge in irrationality and cruelty. Marcus Aurelius reminds us that, despite these differences, we all share the same human essence. This essence is a mix of beauty and flaws, light and shadow. For Marcus, accepting others means embracing their humanity, the good and the bad. He encouraged himself not to be disturbed by the presence of evil or the actions of immoral individuals. In his view, we exist to cooperate and support each other, not to fight against one another. Acting against others, no matter how justified it may seem, is contrary to nature itself. The limits of control. A common source of frustration is our desire for others to behave as we wish. We want people to be kinder, more understanding, or more aligned with our values. Yet, the reality is stark. People act according to their own will, shaped by their own experiences, beliefs, and desires. Their behavior, no matter how illogical or irritating, is ultimately beyond our control. We may influence others through reason, example, or persuasion, but we cannot dictate their actions or thoughts. Marcus Aurelius warns against wasting precious energy on futile attempts to change others. Instead, he advises focusing on what truly matters, our own thoughts, actions, and inner state. He wrote, "Don't waste the rest of your time here worrying about other people, unless it affects the common good. It will keep you from doing anything useful. You'll be too preoccupied with what so-and-so is doing and why, and what they're saying, and what they're thinking, and what they're up to, and all the other things that throw you off and keep you from focusing on your own mind." Living with wisdom. Accepting others doesn't mean condoning harmful actions or enabling bad behavior. It means recognizing that everyone is on their own path, shaped by circumstances we may not understand. By focusing on our own reactions and maintaining inner peace, we rise above the chaos that often stems from human interactions. Marcus Aurelius teaches us that we can't always control what happens, but we can control how we respond. When we stop fixating on the faults of others, we free ourselves to focus on personal growth, meaningful work, and living in harmony with nature. This is the essence of Stoic wisdom, finding strength not in changing the world, but in mastering ourselves. Embracing transience, the wisdom of impermanence. The fleeting nature of existence is a truth that great minds, empires, and entire civilizations have faced. Marcus Aurelius likened humanity to leaves in the wind, growing in spring, falling in autumn, and replaced by new ones. He understood that everything, no matter how significant it seems today, fades into the obscurity of time. Even the most revered emperors and philosophers are now reduced to dust, their deeds remembered only faintly, if at all. Life mirrors the cycle of the leaves. We emerge, flourish briefly, and vanish. Our existence is but a blink compared to the vast timeline of the universe. As Marcus Aurelius reflected, each of us lives only now, this brief instant. The rest have lived or are uncertain. To some, this impermanence brings sorrow. The brevity of life often leads to a desperate clinging to possessions, to achievements, or even to the idea of eternal youth. Yet these efforts to defy nature are futile. Time moves forward relentlessly, and much of our brief lives are spent grappling with decline. But there's liberation in accepting transience. The temporary nature of all things diminishes their weight. Reputation, material wealth, and applause are fleeting. Their significance fades as quickly as they arise. Marcus Aurelius observed how quickly even the grandest achievements are forgotten, swallowed by the abyss of time. This realization frees us. The knowledge that nothing lasts reminds us not to fret over trivial matters. Instead, it calls us to appreciate the present moment and focus on what truly matters. Life's brevity becomes a gift, a reason to live fully, to act decisively, and to embrace the now without regret or hesitation. From a Stoic perspective, impermanence is not something to fear but to cherish. It teaches us that every moment is an opportunity, every breath a chance to live with purpose. Instead of lamenting the shortness of life, we can find meaning in its ephemerality. By embracing transience, we transcend it. Embracing misfortune, the Stoic path to resilience. Life is inherently unpredictable, and misfortune is a certainty. No matter how much we wish for smooth sailing or pray for the absence of hardship, reality proves otherwise. Adversity, whether illness, financial setbacks, or emotional heartbreak, is woven into the fabric of existence. The question, then, is not whether we will face challenges, but how we respond to them. Many people resist misfortune, expending tremendous energy fighting against the inevitable. They rail against bad luck, curse the heavens for unfair treatment, and long for circumstances to change. When the weather turns gray, when health falters, or when loved ones disappoint, they crumble under the weight of their expectations. This resistance doesn't just amplify suffering. It adds a layer of frustration to life's natural challenges. Marcus Aurelius, the Stoic philosopher-emperor, offered a different perspective. He argued that instead of yearning for a life free of misfortune, we should cultivate the strength to face adversity head-on. It's not about changing what happens to us, but about changing how we perceive and respond to it. This approach is grounded in the Stoic principle of the dichotomy of control. There are things we can control, and there are things we cannot. Marcus Aurelius famously advised focusing on what lies within our power. He wrote, "Isn't it better to act like a free person, doing what's within your control, than to live passively, at the mercy of external events, like a slave or beggar?" End quote. When we tether our happiness to external circumstances, be it wealth, relationships, or weather, we surrender our inner peace to forces beyond our control. A person consumed with the fear of their partner leaving or obsessed with avoiding failure gives power to uncertainty. In contrast, Stoicism teaches us to anchor our contentment in things we can influence, our thoughts, choices, and character. To illustrate, Marcus Aurelius encouraged people to redirect their prayers. Instead of asking for someone to love you, pray to let go of the desire for their affection. Instead of seeking to eliminate an enemy, pray for the strength to stop being consumed by their presence. Instead of pleading for a loved one to be saved, pray for the courage to overcome your fear of loss. This shift in focus transforms prayer into a tool for internal growth rather than external gain. It's not about controlling the world, but mastering oneself. Even in the face of the greatest misfortunes, a breakup, a financial ruin, or the death of a loved one, Marcus Aurelius believed we could maintain our equilibrium. He advised embracing the natural order of events, trusting that they unfold as they must. According to Stoic cosmology, what happens is part of a greater design, beyond our understanding, but not without purpose. By accepting misfortune, we strip it of its power to harm us. We learn to face challenges with composure, turning adversity into a crucible for growth. To the Stoic, even the harshest trials are opportunities to cultivate resilience, patience, and wisdom. As Marcus Aurelius concluded, when we align ourselves with fate and embrace events as they come, we achieve true freedom, free from fear, anger, and despair. Ultimately, the Stoic approach to misfortune is not resignation, but empowerment. It's about reclaiming our agency, focusing on what truly matters, and building an unshakable foundation of inner strength. Misfortune will come, but with the right mindset, it becomes a teacher rather than a tormentor. Accepting change, the natural law of the universe. Change is an inherent element of nature. Everything in this universe is born from change, and nothing is static. Not only does the world around us change, but we too are in a constant state of transformation. From the cells in our bodies that continuously regenerate until the moment we die, everything undergoes change. Marcus Aurelius, the great Stoic philosopher, emphasized that change is not just inevitable, but an essential part of the cosmos. It is through change that the universe evolves, and ultimately, the balance of all things is maintained. Looking at our bodies, we can see this transformation clearly. Cells constantly renew themselves, replacing old ones with new, ensuring the continuity of life from one moment to the next. This constant cycle of renewal is akin to how nature operates, replacing the old with the new, perpetually moving forward without pause. Marcus Aurelius believed that this cycle was essential for the flourishing of the world and the universe itself. He wrote, "The world is nothing but change." This is a fundamental truth that we must accept. Change is not merely about the impermanence of things, but about the entire process of becoming different. There is no fixed state in the universe. Even the most stable objects, such as a peaceful landscape or a rock resting in the surf, are subtly changing over time, though less visibly than our speech or the movement of someone's body as they run. Every entity in nature is subject to change, whether it is the brief life of a mayfly or the enduring presence of a rock that has stood for centuries. Nothing lasts forever, and everything is born of change and will eventually return to it. Marcus Aurelius highlighted that without change, the world would cease to exist, and life itself would be impossible. Change is the foundation of life. The very essence of time and the unfolding of events in the cosmos are driven by this unstoppable force of transformation. We must accept this flow of change rather than resist it. In the words of Marcus Aurelius, the world is nothing but change, reminding us that everything we see and experience is part of this perpetual process. Embracing change and growth. While we understand that change is a natural and inevitable process, many people still fear it. We tend to cling to what is familiar, situations, objects, people, and ideas, hoping that they will never change, always remain as they are. However, the change we fear is already in motion. The sun's rising is always followed by the coming of night, and the warmth of summer is inevitably replaced by the chill of autumn. Trying to hold on to the status quo is like grasping water, hoping it won't slip through your fingers. Marcus Aurelius spoke about the impermanence of everything. Some things are rushing into existence, others are rushing out. Some of what now exists has already begun to disappear. Nothing in this world lasts forever, and everything, whether it is material or intangible, must go through change. Instead of fighting it, we should learn to accept it, for it is the very process that allows the universe to thrive. Without change, there would be no growth, no renewal, no life. Change and the path to inner freedom. If we accept that change is unavoidable, we can begin to live in harmony with it. Instead of fearing it, we can embrace change as an opportunity for growth and progress. It is through change that we define ourselves, create new things, and discover new possibilities. As Marcus Aurelius wisely said, do not try to hold on to things as they are, but accept and live well in each moment of change. Life is not about seeking eternal stability, but about navigating the constant flow of change. Life is a continuous river, and we are mere travelers in it. No matter how much we might want to hold on to the past or predict the future, change is always unfolding before us. By letting go of our attachment to the idea of permanence, we open ourselves to the beauty of change, and in doing so we find strength and resilience in the face of uncertainty. The key is to embrace change with grace, to see it not as something to fear, but as a part of the natural order that helps us grow and evolve. By doing so, we free ourselves from the anxiety of holding on to the unchangeable, and instead allow ourselves to flow with the current of life. In the end, it is through accepting change that we truly learn to live. Embracing your nature, the Stoic path to self-acceptance. In life, many people struggle with accepting their inherent qualities, their appearance, physical limitations, and the inevitable march of aging and mortality. These attributes, while natural, can sometimes feel like burdens, leading to dissatisfaction and a sense of inadequacy. But Marcus Aurelius, in his Stoic philosophy, emphasized that the key to peace lies in accepting these natural aspects of ourselves in the world. He urged himself to embrace the body's limits, understand the transient nature of existence, and recognize his place within the vast, interconnected web of life. For him, the solution to life's challenges wasn't to fight against these inherent aspects, but to live in harmony with them. It is easy to envy others for their superior attributes, whether it's a more athletic body, a sharper intellect, or seemingly better circumstances. Yet as human beings, we all face the reality that we are limited in some ways. We cannot change everything about ourselves, no matter how much we may desire it. While we may work to improve ourselves, we are ultimately bound by our physical, mental, and emotional nature. We cannot grow taller than our genetic potential or change the basic makeup of our personality. It is a hard truth, but one that must be embraced. One of the most profound elements of Stoic philosophy is its recognition of reason as a core component of human nature. Unlike other creatures, human beings are equipped with the unique ability to think rationally. This power of reason distinguishes us from our primal instincts and animalistic urges. While animals may be driven by their impulses, humans have the ability to pause, reflect, and make choices that align with wisdom and virtue. Marcus Aurelius often reflected on the importance of using reason to navigate life's challenges. He wrote, "People find pleasure in different ways. I find it in keeping my mind clear, in not turning away from people or the things that happen to them, in accepting and welcoming everything I see, and in treating each thing as it deserves." His ability to find contentment in this rational approach is a testament to the Stoic belief that we can choose our response to life's circumstances, rather than merely reacting to them. The Stoics understood that human beings have the unique capacity to transcend their animal instincts. While emotions like fear, anger, and desire may arise naturally, we are not slaves to them. Through reason, we have the power to understand and redirect these emotions, transforming them into sources of strength rather than suffering. For example, when faced with an unpleasant circumstance, instead of reacting with frustration or resistance, we can choose to view it as an opportunity for growth and understanding. This shift in perspective, enabled by our rational faculties, is the cornerstone of Stoic wisdom. Rather than fighting against the nature of things, whether it's our physical limitations, the behavior of others, or the inevitable changes that come with time, the Stoics encourage us to accept what cannot be changed. This acceptance is not a form of resignation, but rather a rational decision to align ourselves with the flow of life, understanding that resistance only brings pain and distress. It is a conscious choice to release our attachment to outcomes and instead focus on how we can respond to the present moment with wisdom and grace. In conclusion, Stoicism teaches us that by accepting our nature and the limits imposed upon us, we can transcend the desire to change things that are out of our control. Through reason, we can navigate life's ups and downs with clarity and resilience, learning to live in alignment with the world's natural order. Accepting ourselves as we are, with all our imperfections and strengths, is not only a path to inner peace, but a pathway to living a meaningful, purposeful life.
Thank you for watching. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe.